Hi again, everyone. I was asked by a viewer for a follow-up on the Japanese maple video about a month or so ago, and I couldn't do that at the time because at that point the tree was still dormant and there was really nothing to look at. Right now it's maybe a week or 2 weeks out of dormancy, and it's got its first flush of leaves for the spring, so it's time to do a little bit of pruning work on it again. So let's take a look at it here and see if we can do something to make the growth look a little bit less top heavy. This is the back of the tree here, and this is the front. So let's just start to work on it and see what we can do. It's gotten a little bit leggy up here, and we've had a little bit of winter dieback too. So I'm just going to kind of go through it and see what I can do to straighten it up for this spring's growth. Let's see, I'm looking at a front branch here, so we'll just kind of go in here and take off some excess leaves and try to get some work done on developing more ramification here. This first branch actually fared pretty well, but it's got some overgrowth going, and what we need to do is take it back here and thin back the leaves so that the growth spreads out flat. This is actually not bad, and we can work on this by wiring later. And this is a little too thick here, and that's not good there. So that's our first branch on the main trunk. Now the smaller trunk is not quite as vigorous as the main trunk, so there's not going to be much to do with it except take it back and then keep an eye on it later in the season. We've got far too many branches emerging off these nodes here, so we'll thin this down to 1 or 2. And this is one problem with maples, is you can get a lot of growth on the upper part of the tree at the expense of the lower parts. They tend to go apical, similar to pines, in that fashion. Now we'll come in and clean up the upper branching on the main trunk. And we're just going to come back here, trim it out a little. And this is a back branch here on the main trunk that really isn't going to serve the design. Also, that side branch needs to be encouraged to spread out flat. This is going to be our new leader up top of the tree here, so we'll leave that. Then we had a little dieback in there that needs to be cleaned out. And then we've got some superfluous branching in here. Here we've got growth coming down under that we don't really need. And this is a common problem with maples here. We got way too many shoots going in too many directions off of this branch here. So we need to kind of seriously thin this out and keep only what's desirable. So we're going to just keep cutting back until we get the tree restored to its appearance. Here's a shoot that's gone way too leggy. And then we'll take this back just a little bit here. Let's see if we can encourage some denser growth. And we're almost to the end of pruning this tree at this point. And in the background, you'll hear our friendly neighborhood ice cream truck. But I've got no time to stop for ice cream right now because we have to finish pruning this tree. Okay, we have just a few more leaves to take off of here. What I'm doing is a little bit of early season leaf pruning, kind of a partial leaf pruning in order to encourage denser growth. When we take these off, what will happen is where we leave the stems, we'll get new smaller leaves from the nodes behind them. Okay, this is pretty good. I'm happy with how this tree looks now. For early May, this is actually a pretty good place for this tree to be. And now we can follow the branching and the ramification as it grows, and hopefully we'll start to see a little bit more growth out of the lower branches instead of a lot of growth off the top at the expense of the lower branches. Thank you for watching, folks.